If you want to ride the lightning, I will take you. If you want to kiss the cobra, fuck yeah. Yo, 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 yo. Fuck yeah. I got a cobra you can kiss. Now I'm looking a little wonky right now because unlike most people who stream, I actually just got back from the gym, so sorry about my slobbingly appearance. But we are here, babies. Live and in the flesh. Let me get the camera up to an acceptable angle here. There we go. Earl Skakel live. Did you hear it? No, I don't really keep up on what Uncle Laser does, to be honest with you. So, no, I did not hear that. But I can't hate on him for doing it, you know. If I had an extra If I had an extra 15 grand, I mean, why not, man? I don't hate on the Kill Tony comics. You know, they're making the money, honey. You know. And from what I hear, he's a nice guy. So, you know, good for him, I guess. Earl Skakel live on a Sunday night in the Earlverse. Oh yeah, I mean, I got no, you know, listen, we're all wrestling fans, and I hear, like I said, I hear he's a nice guy. I don't wish I was a Kill Tony comic at all, so it's no jealousy here, honest. You know, I mean, I don't know. Obviously I don't know his financial background, but you know, I don't know if I'd be spending 15 grand on a Ric Flair robe if, you know, I mean, comedy is such an unsure business, and you know, I think a lot of the Kill Tony comics are definitely headed for a 15 minutes of fame type thing. But hey, that's on him, I guess. You know what robe I really want is Ron Lyle's robe he wore against George Foreman, but who the hell knows where that is? Excuse me. Sorry, I just ate. My bad. I mean, you know, it's hard to say what an 80s wrestler dies of. I mean, those guys go fucking beyond hard in the paint. Like when I was on the Ric Flair roast, I won't say the wrestler's name, but you know, we're in line for breakfast. And one thing I learned at the Ric Flair roast is if you're staying at a hotel with wrestlers, get to the breakfast bar early. Because literally 15 minutes into breakfast, they were out of food. And this guy just takes out a handful of pills, gobbles them, no water, no orange juice, no liquid of any kind to help it go down. He goes, Earl, it's just like the 80s. I'm like, no, it's not, brother. Yeah, I mean, I would like, if I couldn't get Ron Lyle's robe from when he fought George Foreman, I mean, obviously a Ric Flair robe would be pretty dope. A Rick Rude robe, that red sequined one he had, I would love that. I almost bought a. It was $1,400 ring worn Rick Rude tights that he wore. I think it's Survivor Series, but Comedy Central wouldn't let me do it. What a shock that network would have a bad decision. Um, yeah, the ravishing one, Rick Rude. I'd rather have one of his robes or like the Ultimate Warrior's robe when he came back from WCW and or to WCW. He had a pretty dope robe on. I knew a girl that used to, I wouldn't say date, but used to fuck the Ultimate Warrior, and he gave her a jean jacket. She let me try on once, so I could feel the power of the Warriors. Um, yeah, Warrior. But if you look up Warrior's return to WCW, he had like this trench coat, but it was like custom painted. That'd be pretty dope to have. Um, he was still pretty jacked. I mean, when I met him, probably a year before he died, he was still fucking jacked, man. Like 2014 maybe 2013. I met him. Um, so it is a Ghost Energy drink, a pink lemonade. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Earl world. I love my Sunday night stream crowd. I mean, listen, were the Warriors promos insane? Absolutely. But it almost added to his character of being unhinged. Um, like we still talk about the Warriors promos. I'll give you an example. Name me one Don Morocco promo. You can't, because they were just normal. Um, so favorite energy drink, I gotta go with Diet Rockstar Lemonade. It's a pop. Celsius Cherry Cola is pretty good. Celsius Blue Raspberry, pretty good. But I mean, if you think about how did Hulk Hogan die? I mean, do you know what that guy's insides must have looked like? I mean, you're roiding for probably 30 years of your life, probably more. Cocaine, booze, pain pills, every drug you can imagine. It's going to catch up with you. Plus, the world of wrestling, chair shots, concussions. I mean, it's a miracle he lasted as long as he did. Um, yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I don't like monsters. Yeah, the Steelers had a tough game today. I mean, I thought when they were up 7-3, okay, the defense. I mean, they have a great defense, like on paper. Ramsey, Watt, Highsmith, Hayward. And Rodgers is not the problem. But when you make the money he makes, he's going to be the problem to most people. So yeah, I mean, Ric Flair. I think no, Hogan has had like 2 hip replacements. That's fucking bonkers. And he wasn't even that agile. It's just when you lift in heavy weights, naturally, or roids or whatever, like the stress you put on your tendons, joints, ligaments, bones, it's fucking insane. When you're squatting 4, 5, 6, 700 pounds, bench pressing the same, your body's just not meant to do that naturally. So, it's Piper died at 61. It's a miracle he lasted that long. What's up, SC? What's up, TB? My 2 faves. My favorite Warrior promo is when he talks about basically 9/11, man. Tony is performing at the Kennedy Center in May. We should push for you to be on his lineup now. No, I'm good on that. I'm good. Yeah, look at Ronnie Coleman's a perfect example. I mean, look at that guy. That guy was a genetic freak. Now he can't even get out of bed without crutches. So, yeah, Warrior did a promo that's eerily similar to 9/11, where he talks about tearing down the cockpit doors, dispose of the pilots' make the ultimate sacrifice. Like, it's really fucking scary. So 7:09, yes, it is 7:09 in the Pacific Standard Time. But look at not just Ronnie Coleman. I mean, look at Dorian Yates. I mean, Dorian Yates is unrecognizable. He's still like pretty big, but and then you got your outliers like Tom Platz, who in his mid 70s trains as hard as he did in the 80s. Is what on YouTube, baby doll? Oh yeah, it probably is the Warrior. Just look up Warrior promo 9/11. Yes, tear down the cockpit doors. Dispose of the pilots who have made the sacrifice and fly into parts unknown. And if you can find it, Christian does a spot-on impression of the Ultimate Warrior. Let me see if I can find that promo. It's so funny because you could tell Christian's a fan, but you could also tell he was told to make fun of the Warrior and he didn't want to, but he had to. So it's uncomfortable to let's see. Okay. You know what? If this gets me, oh, here we go. I mean, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to show you the promo, and then thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Hold on. Here we go. If I get in trouble, all right, it's not WWE side, so I could probably. All right, here we go. Made some points. You guys get the point. You guys get the point. Now, I've already gotten a warning. Heads up. We've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. If you plan to continue, please ensure the content owner has added your channel to their... so let's see. How do we do this? Let me check. Can you message someone on YouTube? I don't know if you can. Well, we'll just risk it. I mean, Warrior was ahead of his time, you know, to be honest with you. Like, you, let's see. Can you message someone on YouTube more about this channel? It doesn't seem like you can. All right, well, we'll go for it. Yeah, but it's not WWE blocking. It's the Wrestling Classics, which only has 725 subscribers, but I don't think that you can message someone on YouTube. So, oh well, fuck it. Next time, just play it in your glasses reflection. Hey, I know, that is kind of crazy. They found out so fast. So, just to let you guys know what channel it was, Wrestling Classics. Hit the subscribe button. And maybe they'll let us, you know, I don't know. WWE has digital content sniffers. Did you read AOL? I have not yet, TB. I have not. Yeah. TKO is blocking now. I don't know about that. But, you know, we'll see what happens. They only have 3 videos. Yeah, I mean, YouTube really is on the ball. I mean, you know, I could understand if it was WWE, then, because there's another channel. Well, let me do this, and let me play Christian's impression of the Ultimate Warrior. Now, I'm not going to show it. So this is the impression. It's only 58 seconds. All right, let's go. Here's Christian's impression of the Ultimate Warrior.
I don't need a piece of paper to do an Ultimate Warrior promo because the captain's got them all up here. I'm going to do one for you right now. One of my favorites, WrestleMania 6, Skydome versus Hulk Hogan, Intercontinental Champion versus the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm pretty sure it went a little something like this. Me. When you're on the plane to WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, tear down the cockpit door. Hulk Hogan. Dispose of the pilots that have already made the sacrifice. Hulk Hogan. Assume the controls. Hulk Hogan. And you will soon be close to parts unknown.
All right, that's enough of my shenanigans. I don't know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, you got to understand, Christian probably was a bit embarrassed, because you could tell he's an Ultimate Warrior fan, but that was for that video they did, the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. So I'm sure he was forced to do it. The WWE says jump, you jump. Yeah, but that's, good on Uncle Laser for getting a Ric Flair robe. I mean, if I had the disposable money, just to throw 15 grand at that, I'd probably do it. I'd probably wear it on stage too. But I really want the Ron Lyle robe where he almost beat George Foreman. But I mean, that's fucking 19. That's a 50-year-old robe almost. Should wear. No, I mean, listen, he wasn't a great. What up, Dave? He wasn't a great wrestler, but Norman Hogan was a shitty wrestler. He had two moves: the leg drop and the boot to the face. The Warrior had about the same. The gorilla press slam and a clothesline. But there's a reason we talk about Ultimate Warrior still, and you don't talk about, say, Lance Storm. Oh, sorry, Roy. I missed your question. How much would you pay for OJ's? Well, I'd pay for the one glove. Hello. Can you play? Yeah, I mean, we don't do it anymore. We just. I want to do stand up, man. So. The camel clutch, the Iron Sheik, same move. So but that's the reason. Like we still talk about Hogan's promos, Warriors promos. And we don't talk about, say, a Lance Storm promo. Just it's Hogan Warrior came along at the right time. He was the perfect wrestler to take the torch from Hogan. The problem was he didn't really have great feuds. Like what made Hogan was the feud with Piper. That really jettisoned him into the next level. Warrior never had that. He had some good matches with Macho Man and Rude. And, really his match with Hogan at WrestleMania was amazing. Like, you'd probably take the two worst technical wrestlers of all time and, somehow they had a good match. So I think Warrior could be put in a position to have a good match like Rude and Savage, Hogan in the WrestleMania match, if it was called correctly for him. Yeah, I mean, when, who was it? Papa Shango put the hex on him. He never was the same. So, I mean, he was a perfect character for the late 80s. And, he just, and I don't think he liked the business. I think, he didn't like the business. You take those lifers like Lance Storm, probably even Piper, anyone that trained with Stu Hart, so obviously Bret Hart. Those guys loved pro wrestling. Warrior just go, hey, I look great. I look like a fucking superhero. Give me the money or I'll just do something else. Same thing with Sid. Sid was like, give me my money or I'll just go play fucking softball. I don't care. So, I think other guys who busted their ass and, shitty independent shows in fucking Canada, freezing their ass off for $100. They were bitter and jealous of here comes Warrior, a bodybuilder from Georgia, and he comes in and starts making $1 million a year. But, none of them look like the Warrior. I thought you said Jeff Ross. Hey! Um, yeah, I mean, he kept it real. It's like, he was almost like Brendan Schaub. Like Brendan Schaub, I don't think liked stand-up comedy, but he knew he could make money at it. So he didn't try. He didn't train in comedy. Warrior didn't train to be a good pro wrestler. He didn't care. He knew he was going to make money based on his look. There's a reason, he made the money he made. And someone like, say, the Big Boss Man, who was successful, but he wasn't Warrior successful. Yeah, I mean, I think I like Jesse Ventura the best. He was funny. Well, I mean, I'm just talking about, I think the Schaub example is the perfect example for, to compare Warrior. I mean, Warrior he was a gym freak. He loved his body. He was a chiropractor. He loved bodybuilding. He didn't love wrestling. He just was literally the perfect look for that era. The super huge. I mean, he looked like Bon Jovi on steroids. That's probably. I mean, I don't know if he has a good look. I mean, for an MMA fighter, I guess you'd say he's a good-looking guy. He doesn't look too fucked up. Who's Big Al? The guy from Blood In, Blood Out? But you hear a lot of nice things about Warrior. Like Kamala, he would pay for Kamala's hotel and limousines because he knew Kamala was getting stiffed on money. So you don't really hear that. And, when he was doing his shoot videos, more specifically the one about Hogan, everyone said, oh, he's just bitter. He never kept Hogan's torch. But when you look at that one video that's like an hour long where Hogan or Warrior is talking shit about Hogan for an hour straight, and he's not being interviewed. He's basically interviewing himself. When it was made, people said, oh, he's just bitter, he's crazy. But then when you break down that video, if you watch that video now, you're like, fuck, he was pretty on the money about everything. He looks a lot better than Callan. Well, I mean, Callan is, he looks like Tom Hanks at the end of Philadelphia now. But, Warrior was intense all the time, according to the story. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the most. I mean, when I met him at the autograph place, excuse me, my friend who was his entertainment lawyer was like, dude, you don't want to meet him. He's kind of prickly. So I was literally like the 300th person in line. I was the last person they let in. And I got to be honest with you, man, he couldn't have been any nicer to me. So, who's Gene? I needed to rewatch Warriors College. Well, I mean, the political stuff was, maybe not the best look for Warrior. You might say he was a little homophobic, but well, yeah. I mean, for the most part, Warrior was speaking the truth. He basically said Vince Russo sucks. I mean, for the most part, he was saying Hogan's a piece of shit. He's fake. He never reconciled with Macho Man. And, you look back and, I mean, I loved Hulk Hogan as a wrestler, but as a person, Warrior was probably pretty factual. Well, Earl, funniest comedian, dead or alive. Oh, sorry, dude. I forgot that. Funniest comedian, dead or alive. I mean, alive, I would say Anthony Jeselnik. Dead, Don Rickles. Favorite food, good burger. Well, I don't know if the college kids pushed him. He came in swinging, saying queering is wrong, and homosexuality is wrong, and listen, those are were his beliefs. Who am I to sit there and But it was pretty misguided, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if those views would stand the test of time. No, I just walked her, so she's good. She just ate. In terms of what was it? Someone asked me about Warrior and Piper. I mean, who knows what? Warrior, Vince McMahon and Piper. I don't know. I mean, I believe something probably happened with Roddy and Pat Patterson, because I remember once when I asked Roddy about Pat Patterson, and I was kidding. Um, Roddy definitely stiffened up, like a bad memory was floating into his brain. And you hear the rumors about Shawn Michaels and Vince. I mean, Vince was a piece of shit, is a piece of shit. That's why I think a lot of people behind the scenes liked Warrior, because there was that one Survivor Series. It might have been against Sid, where Warrior is in the gorilla position, and SummerSlam. You're right. And I don't know exactly what he said, but he basically said to McMahon, "I want $1 million more. I'm not going out there." And he waited the perfect time, like and Vince paid him. Now he got fired right after the show, but I would disagree with you, SC. I don't think Warrior regretted that at all, because in Warrior's mindset, he broke McMahon and he got what Warrior wanted. Warrior, you couldn't. Okay, well, you're not going to be in a match against Sid next week. Great. I think he fired him that night. Like he did the match. He somehow got the money, but Vince was like, "Fuck off." So yeah, but I don't think the Warrior cared about his wrestling career. That's my whole point. He left the business in the prime of his career just to fuck it. Same thing with Sid. Sid was basically the same mindset. I don't really like wrestling. I just happen to be 6'9", 350 pounds, chiseled, looking like I was sculpted like a universal soldier. So pay me my money or I'll go play fucking softball. Like Warrior and Sid were really the only two guys to stick it to McMahon. And maybe WCW in the beginning when they were giving away the live results on a taped Raw. That's one of maybe the greatest move in pro wrestling history. And for those of you not knowing, during the Monday Night Wars, Monday Night Raw was taped. And WCW had spies that went to Raw and wrote everything down. So Monday Nitro was live. So WCW would give away the results on Raw so people would watch WCW. But toward the end, it kind of backfired, because then they would say, "Hey, Cactus Jack won the championship." And so people would turn off WCW and go watch Cactus Jack. I mean, I've been watching some WCW Clash of Champions War Games, and there was one with the Shockmaster where, after that, it was right after the Shockmaster, that thing happened, and they just turned him into a construction worker, but they still call him Shockmaster. And Jesse Ventura had the greatest line, and you got to be a real wrestling fucking goober to appreciate it. So they let one person in every 2 minutes, and as the Shockmasters getting into the ring in the two cages, Jesse Ventura's like, "Don't trip," like real inside zinger there. Well, I don't know if that specifically was the end of WCW. I mean, I think the end was really when they just started when the NWO became watered down and it wasn't cool anymore. I think they should have always been three. Maybe add the Giant. Maybe. But, when you started adding Scott Norton, Conan, Horace Hogan, Virgil, Ted DiBiase, Macho Man, Elizabeth, and then you had the Red NWO with Sting and Kevin Nash, and then the LWO. It was just insane. They should have just kept it as like a four horseman faction. You're hit, man. You're hit. Son of a bitch is stuck in there tighter than an Alabama tick. Yeah, I mean, but the only reason WWE started beating them in the ratings was because WCW beating them 83 weeks in a row forced them to go, "Hey, we need to out-violence them and out-sex them." Because I don't think Ted Turner was down with the sexual stuff. So that was a very smart move by Vince. Go, "Hey, they're not going to show girls with giant tits doing a mud wrestling match on Monday Night Nitro. We'll do it." And the results are what they were. Earl Skakel Live, Sunday night. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. Yeah, I mean, 98, I think after the Warrior Hogan botched rematch, that's when it really went downhill. The Warriors' 28-minute promo on live TV. The rematch was shit. And see, what I would have done is I would have pitched Warrior beating him again, and you build up a feud where Hogan's just chasing him. It's the one guy that pinned him cleanly. But, Hogan at that time had total creative control. And after the way Warrior was treated, he's like, fuck this. And he just left. Kevin Nash finger poke of doom definitely didn't help. I think Goldberg's, I think their peak was the Georgia Dome Monday Nitro when Hogan passed the torch to Goldberg. Go back and watch that show. That might be the hottest wrestling crowd I've ever heard in my life. No canned noise. It was just amazing. DDP comes out with Karl Malone, and Karl Malone hits. You want to talk about a sell job? Watch Mr. Perfect sell Karl Malone's diamond cutter. He's like, he spiked her, and that look at that spear he gave Hogan. That shit hurt because that basically was a real spear. Because Goldberg didn't know his own strength. Like that's how he almost fucking killed Bret Hart, and nobody liked working with Goldberg because he was so fucking stiff. He was Road Warrior stiff. So, Kurt Hennig, probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen in a pro wrestling ring was when Kurt Hennig suplexed the Giant. Now, the Giant definitely helped with the liftoff, you could tell. But my God, that's 500-pound suplex, legit. And kept the bridge pose after it. Impressive. Plane Ride from Hell. I think, what was it, Mr. Perfect and Brock Lesnar fighting by the door? Now, from what I understand, it's pretty hard to open that door in flight. But, Brock Lesnar is probably one of the few. I'm an El Gigante fan, to be honest with you. I was watching, if you guys have 20 minutes to spare, now, SC, you're probably too young to appreciate this match. And TB, I don't know how old you are, but, you guys know how old I am. 57 for those of you who don't. I do not have a spot tonight. Check out, and it's on the WCW channel. I think they just put it up. The Chamber of Horrors match, where you've got who's in that match? Sting, a very young Scott Hall when he was the Diamond Stud, Vader, the Steiner brothers, Abdullah the Butcher, El Gigante. And, if you watch El Gigante, the poor fucking guy couldn't move. Okay, well, we're the same generation, though. Same age range. So watch Chamber of Horrors and Cactus Jack. And the whole premise of it's a steel cage match. About halfway through, they drop the electric chair, and whoever gets electrocuted loses or whatever. And it's so ridiculous. At one point, it's good improv by the announcers. So your Cactus Jack was so Abdullah the Butcher loses. He gets electrocuted by Scott Steiner. Rick Steiner. But the lever, it's in the up position. But because there was so much mayhem going on, the lever had dropped to the on position. So when they focus in on Cactus Jack about to pull the lever's already down. So it should have been, the electric chair should have been on. So you see the announcers trying to do some real quick improv, going, oh, Cactus Jack has to, he's got it in the position already. And Cactus Jack is kind of like trying to put it back up. So, it's just funny. I mean, it's so bad, it's good. To believe that a wrestling organization would allow um, a wrestler to get electrocuted. Um, so Chamber of Horrors on the WCW channel. What's up, Earl? What up? What up, Greg Vaughn? Life must go on. My favorite era. What up, Unbanned Josh Denny? My favorite era of wrestling is like 85 to 91. You had the Road Warriors working super stiff. Nikita Koloff. In the mid 80s, you had Magnum TA, who was like my John Cena. And it was awesome. Look up that first War Games. It was basically real fucking wrestling. I mean, those guys were hammering each other. Stunning Steve Austin. I think he was, excuse me, part of the Hollywood Blondes. I never saw Andre the Giant live. I mean, one day we'll do a wrestling, swag podcast. Did you know if you make a podcast and buy fake views, you can use that to sell ad rates? Yeah, I mean, I did that, and I felt dirty. So that's the one thing I'm proud of about my YouTube channel: 100% organic. There's not one fake sub that I know of, anyway. I mean, if you look at the mid '80s, you had Mid Atlantic, which had like Junkyard Dog, Kamala. You had World Class with the Von Erichs and Gino Hernandez and the Gentleman Chris Adams, Rick Rude, the Dingo Warrior. You had Portland scene where you had guys like Roddy Piper and Bad News Allen. You had California scene, which you had the Golden Greek, John Tolos. You had Stampede Wrestling, AWA, NWA. I mean, WWE or WWF. I mean, it was really, and then, once Vince McMahon kind of became like Pac-Man and just gobble, gobble, gobble. And you had guys like, you had New Japan. Bushwhackers were all right. Tough guys, though. I mean, you always hear about Haku being the toughest wrestler, Ming, Haku. But you have a few people say that the Bushwhackers were pretty tough. Maybe not on Ming's level, Haku's level, but definitely tough dudes. I mean, not my thing, with the Ric Flair coach choice. I don't know anyone. I don't know. I'd rather see Earl get the money from Whitney. Whitney Cummings or Whitney, my old girlfriend? Hello. Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that. Well, I mean, I think back then it was almost 50% real. And I mean, in terms of the physical, like WCW is not paying me to say this, but no, that's a scary thing, Greg. It's not bullshit. Go to the WCW channel and watch the first War Games. I think it was 87. And also a great War Games 89. So any early War Games with the Road Warriors, that shit was real, man. I mean, they're clotheslining you, they're pile driving you. Basically, it's a real pile driver. A prime Ric Flair, a prime Sting, a prime Sid, a prime Brian Pillman, prime Steiners, Earthquake, who I think in WCW was called the Shark, and he was a legit sumo wrestler. I mean, it was as real as fake wrestling can get. Who was a WWE? I mean, I know Sunny Kiss is trans. She was in AEW for a minute. Well, the tombstone could break your fucking neck, though. But Ross, check out and a prime Nikita Koloff, who was as big as the Road Warriors. And the War Games where Sid powerbombed Brian Pillman unconscious, and then powerbombs him again. I mean, it was like I said, yeah, it was scripted, and it's funny. I think in the War Games, there was a War Games I was watching with Sid, where you could hear him calling the match. Like I think he said to Vader, "Put me in a figure four," and it's very audible. It's pretty funny. Yeah, John Tenta, legit sumo guy. I think he was one of the first American-born people to like do well over in Japan. So, that's my favorite era because the internet hadn't really bopped up yet. So when they said Kamala was from Uganda, you believed it. You thought, oh, he's really from Africa. And then you find out he's like from Tupelo, Mississippi. What the fuck? What's up? What's up, AW? When Scott wasn't Big Papa Pump, he did legs after the switch. He had chicken legs, only focus. Yeah, he did have. Well, you could kind of tell in the Chamber of Horrors match, upper body was starting to. That's when he first started getting pretty big. And not that he had skinny legs, but you could tell he definitely didn't work his legs much. He probably did a couple sets of um, leg extensions, and that's enough. Pretty sure John Tenter would. Oh, I thought he was American, but I might be wrong. I can't forget about Carson Bukaki. What the fuck? I should use AI to remake the Pillman Austin break-in with Chad and Boozmock. See, there's our first Dabbleverse mention of the evening. Oh, I'm sorry, TB. Let me go back. I always thought Orndorff was a real badass when he was with Piper in the early tag team days. Apparently, he was, because there was a War Games match that didn't really make sense because Lex Luger was on Hogan's team and they had just fought, and apparently Vader and Orndorff got into a backstage fight and Vader was fired. And the rumor is Orndorff beat the shit out of him. And I met Orndorff at the WrestleMania at Crypto.com, or should I say Staples. And we were on a couch, and he just said, "Young man, what do you think about wrestling today?" I'm like, "I think it sucks." He's like, "You're right." But he was still pretty jacked. Um, yeah, Rock was in the Nation of Domination. Yeah, King Kong Bundy was a big dude. Perfect. Well, you could tell Mr. Wonderful was a legit badass. Like that's the type of guy you see in a bar. And, okay, he's not that big. I could take him, and he'd knock you out with one fucking punch. Um, so, but like I said back then, it wasn't on the internet, so you couldn't research, say Nikita Koloff, and go, "Oh, he's from Minnesota." Oh, I think he's really from Minsk, Russia. Now he lived the gimmick. Like he lived in Minnesota, but he would only speak in Russian. Like he'd go out to the market, he'd speak in Russian. And apparently one day one of the cashiers whispered into his ear, "I know you're American." Yeah, is that the story? He knocked Vader out with an open hand, and that's a big boy. Um, yeah, I mean, Hogan was very strong in his prime. Yeah, I mean, there's no way kayfabe could exist anymore. Just like there's no way a band like Kiss could go uh, unphotographed without their makeup on. Kiss was the perfect band for the 70s because, yeah, they had paparazzi and shit, but, now, there's no way a band could put on makeup and be anonymous. Are you telling me yeah, 100%, the Undertaker's not from Death Valley. I think he's from Scottsdale. Hello! I mean, I was blown away when I heard that Kane wasn't actually his brother. Right, it's very wrestling heavy, Buck Hunter. Very wrestling heavy today. What about Buckethead from? Yeah, but I've seen pictures of Buckethead without his bucket on. I mean, that's a great example of, if you want to know what Buckethead looked like, there's pictures of him on the internet without his bucket on. Well, Buckethead is in that weird. I love Bam Bam Bigelow. He's in that weird thing of he's famous, but he's anonymous. There's famous like Tom Cruise famous, obviously. Tom Cruise walks into a room, that's Tom Cruise. But Buckethead has played all over the world and is recognized as one of the great technical guitar players of his generation. But you got to be a real nerd to know what he looks like. I'm a real nerd. Yeah, but John Five wears makeup, but like he doesn't wear makeup like Kiss. Like I've seen John Five out of makeup. He kind of looks like John Five in makeup. So we'll go another 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes, Sunday night stream. Yo 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 yo. Earl Skakel in the house. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, but that's my point. I mean, Buckethead to me is famous, but he's also at the same time anonymous. You know. Now, if you see Buckethead at NAMM, he's mobbed. So he's famous in that room. Is Doom in the house? Is Doom here? Do we have a Doom sighting? Is someone just said, oh shit. Everyone, be cool. Don't cause a scene. Doom is in the house. Doom, 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 Duke of Doom, 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 Duke of Doom, 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 Duke of Doom. Doom gave me the greatest compliment ever when they said, notice I said they. Doom is the Kiss of the Dabbleverse. Nobody knows. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Who's Doom? You better not say that in him about him, bro. See, I can't even talk. What am I, Zumok on a few shooters? Hey, see, I'll roast Chad. Everyone thinks me and Chad are like butt buddies. Doom is the preeminent clipper of the Dabbleverse. Please visit their channel. Notice I said their channel, not his channel. Yeah, I'm not down with the doxing that goes on in the Dabbleverse, people going to people's homes. That's crossing a line. They, them, whatever. I had stuff sent to my house from the Perry crowd, and it was like, holy fuck, man. People have my home address. People calling my home landline. I just think that's crossing the line, to be honest with you. But, that's why I disassociated myself with PCL after 2 times. I was like, you guys can have this world. If you guys are driving out a good comic, you can have this world. So, that's the thing with, Ace, how many people, Doom, who knows? I mean, Doom, a lot of people think Doom is a lady. I don't know. So Doom is the Kiss in the 70s of the Dabbleverse. Maybe it's multiple Dooms. It could be like wrestling when Sting was battling the Black Scorpion and there was multiple Black Scorpions. And no, I don't mean Big Black Newport in the Dabbleverse. Get your mind out of the gutter there. So Melton gender docs Doom. Well, we don't. I don't personally. I don't care, Doom, who you are. I don't want to know because it would ruin the illusion. Like when Chad Zumach told me he was the guy behind the Jan Michael Vincent account, it totally ruined the account for me. So it wasn't funny to me anymore because I knew it was Chad. So, just like on X, it's like the Dabbleverse of the LA comedy world. There's a account called Stand Up Batman. And everyone thinks I'm Stand Up Batman. I'm not. But Stand Up Batman is so funny to me, but it would be ruined if I knew who it was. Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. So we're going to go another 5 minutes. Since Doom is in the room, we can do Dabbleverse questions. My brother actually learned how to play guitar watching. A lot of people did. That's why me and Gambool got into a fierce argument on here about Ace Frehley being a influential guitar player. Gambool obviously plays guitar. I don't. But when you look at when Ace died, see, this is stuff Doom will never clip, me talking about Ace Frehley. Sorry, I got a booger in my eye. Hit the like and subscribe button. See what I did there? That's a little tribute to Doom. Um, how many different guitar players spoke about how Ace influenced them to play the guitar? You had Tom Morello from Rage, you had Dave Kooning from The Killers, Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. I mean, all these different artists were like, hey, Ace is why I picked up the guitar. So, thank you for subscribing. I'm just a small, humble channel. I'm just a unknown comic in his mid-50s trying to make it. Yeah, John 5, I mean, literally 2030. Jake E. Lee said he was influenced by Ace. If you look up any successful guitar player, say after 78, so all the 80s guys, Jake E. Lee, Carlos Cavazo, Warren DeMartini, George Lynch, you think Doom's going to clip me talking about 80s metal guitar players? Shit. Watch this be his next intro to the Chad Mersh feud. Um, you know, that's a dark world to dabble over. Someone's going to get hurt one of these days. Someone's going to show up to someone's house, and it's not going to be like if Chad goes over to Doom's house again. It's probably not going to be Doom who fucks him up. It's going to be a friend of Doom's who's over there and going, "Get the fuck out of my friend's house." So Earl has 2 listeners. I have lost 2 listeners over arguments. Clip that, Doom. I'm just looking for clout with Doom. But I don't want people in here agreeing with me. I mean, Doom, I can't agree with you even more than I can. I thought the PCL crew was out of line calling me on my home line. I mean, the first 2 calls were hang-ups. Okay, I mean, it's not funny to me, but all right, I get it. And then the 3rd call was a really graphic, incredibly graphic message that it definitely crossed lines. And then they sent stuff to my house, and someone put my home address in my stream. I mean, that's just, someone's going to get hurt, man, because it's not going to be like I said, if Chad goes over to Doom's house again, what if Doom has a friend who's like a fucking gun nut and opens the door and goes, "Get the fuck out of here"? It's something like that's going to happen. And I hope it doesn't, but Cold Sea is still, oh wait, hold on, I missed that, Doom. Cold Sea is still upset about chat spam from 18 months ago. I mean, I got a great sense of humor, Doom. I mean, I have a podcast. I don't do it much anymore, called Inappropriate Earl. If you look up any of my comedy clips on YouTube, you'll see my humor's pretty wacky and out there, and I probably straddle or cross the line here and there. So I don't mind the trolling, but doxing someone in their own stream, I just don't. I don't know. It's a road to nowhere, because then someone's going to be like, "Well, if they did that, let's do this." Okay, Chad went to Mersh's house. Let's do this. And I let the PCL world, because I knew what the next move was going to be. And I don't want to say what I think it was going to be, because then someone will do it. But, I mean, it's all fun and games on the internet. Well, it's just dangerous. You've got people. I mean, it was scary to me, that someone would have my home address and think, "Hey, I'll put it in the chat." I mean, that's fucking bonkers to me. But, and then I had a PCL fan when I think it was he found out that I left. I said, "You guys can have this world." He was trying to justify the doxing. Dude, it was funny to see your reaction. No, it wasn't. Because then you could do other things that, because it's very competitive with the doxers and the trolls. Well, if this troll did this, then I want to do that, because I want my 15 minutes of fame. Well, if Chad went to Mercer's house, I want to go to Kevin Brennan's condo and scare his kids. And if Earl's at the Stand in New York, I want to go to his hotel room and knock on his door, or whatever. So, I mean, I just don't get the doxing. I don't think it's funny. Like, I get the trolling in here. You know, you could say I'm old, or you could say I only played the Comedy Store, I'm a fucking loser, or, you know, this and that about a hairline or a big nose or something about my looks. It's the internet, keyboard warrior central. But to, like that third phone call I got, if you guys knew what I heard with my ears, you would not be a fan of like the calling people's homes. You just wouldn't. And you guys know me. I got a fucking great dark sense of humor. But, um, well, like I said, it's the chatters are all fighting for their 15 minutes of fame, or I should say the trolls, and it just escalates. So you know someone's looking at what Chad did to Mersh and go, what can I do to top that? So they'll talk about me. So I just don't. Well, trolls do suck, but I don't necessarily mind them. But when it gets to the doxing and shit, it's a problem for me. So that's why I left the stream. You know, okay, I'm a fairly established stand-up comic trying to add a little bit of legit humor into this world. You guys chased me away after 2 weeks. Um, well, yeah, but and I get that everyone wants their yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like KB doxing people. I don't like Stuttering John doing it. I don't like Chad doing it. I don't like people going to people's homes. I just think there's a line that um, gets crossed, and that's why I like my stream. I swear to God, people, you guys are gonna think I'm lying. I'd rather have the 30 people in this stream. We're all cool. We're all laughing, busting balls a little bit, than have 500 people in here doxing me. I swear to God. Do I wish I had more people in here? Yeah, of course I do. Do I wish I made a few more dollars than I do in here? Of course I do. But I'd rather, like the Yonder Wizard crowd, when they come over, and Yonder Wizard, and I think he's stream rated me, 5 times. I would say the average people he brings over here, it's anywhere from 500 people to at 1.2 thousand people. Not a single troll. Not one troll out of like the same average of 1,200 people coming over. Because they're stand-up fans. So, what are you going to do? It's the internet. I don't know. Well, that's the great thing. I don't know who doxed me. That's the thing. You don't know. So there's really nothing I can do about it. Because that's the scary thing, is the doxers have the power, to be honest with you. Like, my screen name is my name. I have my picture up. Some of you may not like a shirtless picture of me, but, that's what I have. So I don't know, like, let's say, like Traveling Lamp. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I don't want to know where you live. So, if you roast me right now, say, well, your face looks like blah, 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 blah. I can't say anything to you because I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you do. I don't know anything about you. So I know when it happened on the stream. Oh, I don't care. I don't want to know. I mean, what am I going to do? Because, trolls have the power. And now I'll give them this. They left me alone once I left the stream. So I don't want to, get into that shit. And Rob Schneider's hilarious. You still talk to him? Yeah, I opened up for him for 4 years. So Earl versus Brock Lesnar would last about 2 seconds. Earl versus Brock Lesnar would be about as long of a match as Ultimate Warrior and Triple H. Oh, shit. Guys, I got in the stream. For a reason I can't get into. Yeah, sometimes comedy pays, not just in dollars. So let me hear you holler, and let me tell you guys I love you all. Dooms, whoever you are, whatever gender you are, thank you for doing the work you do. I listen to your channel. I'm not trying to kiss your ass. I get nothing by kissing your ass, but you are the best clipper in the business. Appreciate you guys. Earl Skakel. We'll be streaming tomorrow night at some point. Let's try and get to 35 people tomorrow night. Kevin Brennan, I'm coming for you.